You can see the calm section here in front of me, and then you can see where the water's moving fast. Made a cast right along that edge, that current seam right there, and that guy nailed it. So maybe there's a couple more kind of sitting around there. We're just reeling it across that seam. Oh my gosh. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. Today I've got a quicker video for you. I'm going to be out doing some evening fishing, after work, wading in one of my local rivers. I'm going to be casting around a crankbait, guys. And this is one that I actually mentioned in one of my previous videos. This is the Rebel Wee Crawfish, guys. And I talked a little bit about it, and I had a video that was released recently called my top 5 baits for summer creek fishing, and this was one that came up in that video. So before I talk a little bit more about the lure and the situations where I like to fish it and why I think it should be in your box, let's go ahead and roll the footage and let that speak for itself. There's a fish, guys. Feels a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. Good fighter. Hopefully he'll stay hooked. Gonna walk him over to the bank here. Hopefully he won't jump off. It doesn't look like it's hooked that well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get a load of that one, guys. That's a good one for this river. That's solid, guys. Oh, yeah, he was actually hooked pretty good. I was a little worried there, but nope, he's hooked good. Yes, sir. That's a pretty fish. About 11 inches or so. That's like, it's not a big one, but it's decent for this river. So happy to catch that one. Put up a nice fight. Nice. This river is a little bit more stained than it normally is when I fish it. Come out here once or twice a year typically, but it's a little higher than normal so I went with something a little more aggressive. I was throwing that kind of tan colored Rebel Craw, and I switched to this one here, this red nest robber color. This is a nice little crankbait for river fishing, but you can see the calm section here in front of me, and then you can see where the water's moving fast. Made a cast right along that edge, that current seam right there, and that guy nailed it. So maybe there's a couple more kind of sitting around there. Just reeling it across that seam. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Big one. Really big. I don't know if he's hooked that well. If we lose him, we lose him. Holy crap, that's a big smallmouth. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, guys. That is big. That's a big fish. Just playing him, letting him tire out here. Hopefully he'll stay hooked. If we lose him, we lose him. That's a big one. Gonna walk him back over. Holy crap, that's big. That's a big smallmouth. That's a big smallmouth, guys. Oh man, he's doesn't want to give up. We got him. Ooh, guys. Look at that fish. Look at that smallmouth. Good gravy, guys. That's one of the biggest I've ever caught. This could be a PB. Of course, I don't have, every time I catch a big fish, I don't have a scale or anything like that. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at that smallmouth. That's got to be 16 inches at least, maybe more like 18. No scale. No, nothing. No way to measure this guy. That is an awesome fish. All right, let's get the hook out of this guy, right in the corner of the mouth. What did I say, guys? We're just reeling it along that seam. This guy was like double hooked also, like twice on the same point. Guys, look at that fish. That is a beautiful fish. That is a beautiful smallmouth. That might be a PB, guys. It really might. Thank you, fish. I'm gonna have to do a length estimate on this guy when I get home. This is a potential PB, guys. Just gonna let him rest here. There she goes. Beautiful fish. Yes. On the BFS setup, baby. Love to see it. That's a fish, guys. Didn't feel that big, but not too bad either. There we go. That's more like the average size for this place here. Usually fairly small, but feisty. Thank you, buddy. But we've seen the potential now, guys. We've seen the potential. I'm doing well. About y'all? Oh man, I thought that was a fish. Oh yeah, it is a fish. Oh, they're getting smaller, not bigger. Of course, I wouldn't really expect one much bigger than what we've already caught from this place, but woo, hold on, fish. You want to throw some hooks into me? Give me a second. There we go, guys. Another little guy. Nice. Hey, we're catching fish. Hoping for another nice, decent one, though. Oh man, this feels great, guys. Catching a nice one like that, I needed that. You know, I was feeling a little, I don't know, a little burnt out, a little tired. You know, fishing was just kind of going okay to not good the last few trips. But you just find a new spot, you know, explore a new section, and it can make all the difference. There's a fish, guys, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a fish. Feels good. It's a smallmouth. Oh yeah, solid. Stay hooked, please. Yeah, it's decent, guys. Yeah, it's decent. Yes, sir. That's not big, but probably like a 10 and a half incher, something like that. Get a picture of him. Yes, sir. It says like, yeah, about 10 inches. All right, little fish. Get on back to your home, gather your faculties, get undiscombobulated. You can let go at your leisure. Nice. Whoa. Okay, sir. This guy followed it in. You little rapscallion. You gonna shake off, huh? You gonna try to shake off after all of that? All those antics? Huh? Little scamp of a smallmouth here. Alright, don't shake too hard. I'm gonna grab you. I'm gonna have to grab you, sir. Yeah, 2 hooks One in the top, one in the bottom. See if we can get you free, buddy. There's one. And there's two. It's like a 9-incher, I would say. On the way back, guys, on the way back. Thank you, sir. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed some of that footage there. Pretty epic little battle there with that smallmouth on the light power BFS setup there, using the good old Rebel Craw. Now, my estimation on that fish, I didn't have a scale, of course, or a tape measure or anything, but I put that fish, somewhere between 16 and 18 inches, and probably around 2.5 pounds, maybe closer to 3 pounds, but, it was a pretty, the smallmouth around me, they're usually a thinner bodied fish, streamlined, when they're in the rivers, they tend to be more streamlined. I don't really have lakes around me with a lot of smallmouth, but, anyway, definitely a personal best, guys. Great catch out there. The Rebel Craw. So this is a lure that has been around for quite a long time. And basically, in my experience, this is a lure, if you've got a shallow water situation, which is pretty typical for a lot of these river wading situations, I would say anywhere from 1 to 3 feet of water. Maybe a little more sometimes, but typically that 3 foot range, 1 to 3 foot range, just seems like it's the best for this lure. You can just cast and retrieve this, and you can vary your speed. Really, I've caught fish going slow, fairly slow, just winding it in, steady. I've caught fish burning it in with some pauses. It really seems like either retrieve will get bites, but this is especially a deadly bait for smallmouth, guys. Yeah, I would say it dives to, 2 feet. But it really depends on the setup you're using, which line you've got tied on. Heavier line, you'll run a little shallower. Lighter line, it'll dive a little more. And how the angle of your rod, all that stuff influences the diving depth of this crankbait. But it's got this round bill on here. It has a wide action on it, and this is just mimicking a fleeing crawfish, guys. And this is really the color I use the most. I think it's just called ditch brown or something like that. It's got orange on the belly, and then just kind of a pretty natural tan look on the back. But in this video, actually, I opted for this one here, this red one. And this one, I think it's called Nest Robber. You can see it's mostly red. Also got orange on the belly and a little bit of blue on the claws. This is mimicking, I think, a species of crawfish that's really found more in the deep south, but I'm more inclined to throw this one if maybe in the springtime. Red is a thing in the spring for bass fishing. Really, if for whatever reason this one's just not working, or I want something that I think is going to stand out a little bit more, slightly dirtier water, or just maybe it's a cloudy day or something like that. But really, this is a lure that you should have in your box if you're really trying to mimic crawfish in a shallow water scenario with a hard bottom, guys. Some rocks or some sand, a little bit of wood. It doesn't really go through thick branches and stuff super well, but if you've got, some sparse wood, and this is a great option, guys. Definitely have this in your box if you're targeting smallmouth, but you can really catch other species on this too. I've caught some largemouth with it. I've caught some panfish with it. I've had fish take this off the surface like a topwater. So anyway, if you made it this far in the video, I hope you are going to consider subscribing to the channel for more bank fishing content. And with that being said, I hope to see you next time. Peace.